Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum to my name Aisha and my fellow friends. So today my group and I will be presenting on Capital Expenditure Analysis. The team members consist of 4, Mohamad Aiman, Mohamad Izzul, Irfan, Dini, Husnina and myself, Nursyahirah Zulkifli.
Today, we are going to explain about the introduction of capital expenditure, qualitative consideration, technological advancements, synergistic effect, and lastly is environmental effect. Capital expenditure is the use of money by a company to acquire, maintain, and upgrade fixed assets such as land, buildings, vehicles, and equipment. And the meaning of capital expenditure decision is the long-term decisions that requires evaluation of the cash inflows and outflows over the years to determine the acceptability of a project. The first objective of capital expenditure is to increase output by utilizing and modify fixed assets or acquiring new assets. The second objective is to provide contemporary goods. In order to meet the constant changes of customer preference, the installation of the latest plant and machinery is necessary. And the third objective is to reduce costs. The profitability of the firm depends on the degree of the reduction of costs. This is possible if under or over investment in assets is avoided.
Now, we look to the purpose of the capital expenditure analysis. First is to ascertain the long-term investment in the firm. The second purpose is to recognize as well as prioritize capital investment on the basis of maximum return of the business. And lastly, is considered as a managerial tool required for efficient management of collected capital of the firm. Next, the benefits. The benefits to an organization could include saving in energy, reduction in emission and the cost of disposing of waste, reduce insurance and cost of cleaning up environmental damage, reduce material and packaging. The last one, new byproducts that can be sold.
Let's look into the importance of capital expenditure decisions. The first one, substantial investment. These capital expenditure decisions involve a large amount of funds, and that decisions have its effect over a long span of time. Next, irreversible decision. This capital expenditure decision, once approved, represent long-term investment that cannot be revoked or withdrawn anytime. This decision of withdrawal or reversal may lead to huge financial loss to the firm. And the third one, estimation of future cash inflows. The preparation of capital expenditure budget involve forecasting of cash flows over several years for evaluating the project's profitability itself. And the last one, it can maximize of shareholders' wealth. It helps to protect the interests of shareholders as well as the company because it can avoid over investment and other investment in fixed assets. Okay, let's look into the evaluation methods under this capital expenditure decision. First one is discounted payback period. This net present value has been developed to overcome the limitation of non-discounted payback period. It is the time required to recover the initial cost of investment through discounted inflows of a project. And next is net present value. By using this method, the cost of capital is used to discount the cash inflows. It is calculated by taking difference between sum of present value of cash inflows and sum of present value of cash outflows. And the last one is internal rate of return. Different from net present value method, a stipulated rate of interest is avoided. It is also known as yield on investment, where it is a discount rate that makes the initial investment equal to present value of subsequent net cash inflows. Thus, this IRR is the discount rate that makes the net present value of cash flows equal to 0.
Now I'll proceed to the challenges in capital expenditure decision. So the first one is measurement problems. It's the process of identifying, measuring, and estimating the cost relating to the capital expenditure may quite complicated. The second one is unpredictability. Unpredictability is mean that the companies making capital expenditure decisions are usually characterized by a lot of uncertainty. During the financial planning, the company needs to account for risks to mitigate the potential losses even though it is not possible to eradicate them. Alright, the third one is temporal spread. The costs and benefits related to the capital expenditure are usually stretched over a relatively long period of time. So that's the end of the introduction of capital expenditure decisions. So now I pass the presentation to Dini Husnina for the first part of challenges in capital expenditure decision.
Capital expenditure decision depends on both qualitative and quantitative factors. Decision inputs that hardly expressed in numbers is qualitative factors, but equally important as quantitative factors. For the qualitative consideration of the capital expenditure decision, first factor is corporate culture. Corporate culture discover how people conduct their work, their ability to solve the problem, their interaction, and their motivation. It is through buying new office equipment such as office furniture, computers, and others. The quality of the office environment is important to present positive image to the customer and suppliers who visit the office. The second factor is legal compulsion. The management should consider legal provisions while purchasing the asset. Now, the management give much importance to legal provisions rather than cost and profit. For example, starting a factory in an area where the machines are restricted to install due to legal barriers affect the company's decision. And the third factor is the quality of the product or service. The degree of the quality of the product or service depends on the quality of the assets and resources used to produce the product or service. The higher the quality, it is more likely to attract the potential customers. Consider purchasing high quality assets or resources can help in making decisions that are in the best interest of the business. Then continue to the next qualitative factor, which is social trends. The constant changes of the society tastes and preference affect the capital expenditure decision. For example, the fabrics that are trendy 10 years from now should be considered by the company that produce garments. Social trends also influence working hours in the future and what kinds of jobs they are willing to do. It influences what types of machines and other facilities to boot. And consider ethical values to make capital expenditure decision is one of the factors. The role of ethics is to protect and preserve stakeholders' interests. For example, when considering operative factory dealing with manufacturing steel, company needs to consider several safeguards to be implemented, such as safety caps and gloves. And the other factor is the environmental concerns. Companies that are perceived as good stewards to the environment are viewed as attractive to the overall stakeholders. Therefore, companies should not invest in equipment or build a factory that give a negative impact to the environment. This is to ensure that future financial problems can be avoided and increase customer satisfaction. Next, move to the advantage of qualitative consideration. The first advantage is help the organization to emphasize strategy to improve capital expenditure decision. For example, if the company's strategy is to provide superior customer service, it makes sense to company to consider qualitative consideration based on level of customer satisfaction. Second advantage is to improve future financial performance. In this case, management may measure product quality and customer satisfaction as they believe the high performance in these areas can improve future financial performance. Managers also become more actionable in order to increase customer satisfaction. It is easy for management to investigate defects item and customer complaints relating to operations and admin activities. And furthermore, when the organization take the qualitative consideration, will lead to increased employee determination. Some organizations spend money on capital improvement to improve better work environment for employees. It will increase the productivity and motivation of the employees. The The increase in employee motivation will lead to lower of employee turnover, thus improve the reputation of the company. The downside of the qualitative consideration is they may encounter problem while making capital expenditure decision. For example, once management accountant have input information, they need to analyze both qualitative and quantitative differently. It is because qualitative and quantitative consideration may give difference in their inputs. And qualitative methods rely on information that is not easily measurable, while quantitative methods deal with data. For example, if manager want to analyze how positively customers view one product, a manager might interview the customers and ask for feedback. This qualitative information is hard to express as numbers. Furthermore, by focusing only qualitative consideration may result in different outcomes. The result of qualitative analysis often based on more than one interpretation but may contain additional information. For example, customer interviews might indicate that customers like the product but would appreciate faster delivery. Decisions based on qualitative consideration are relevant and have positive impact on profitability of the firm. Qualitative consideration can influence the aims and objective of the firm and provide the effective ways to determine good capital expenditure decision. Now I will pass to Izzul for further explanation on technological advancement.
Thank you, Dini, for your great presentation on the challenges on qualitative consideration. I'm Izzul, and now let me continue with the challenge technological advancement. First, what is the technological advancement? The simple definition of the technological advancement is the generation of information on discovering new knowledge that advance the understanding of technology or scientific relation. There are some types of the technological advancement, but for this time, we will focus on the three types, which are first, the artificial intelligence (IA), second, the Internet of Things (IoT), and lastly, virtual reality and augmented reality (VR and AR). I will explain more details about all of these in the next slide. We look to the artificial intelligence or AI first. The definition of AI is the ability for a computer program to think and learn on its own. One of the most significant benefits of AI is that it may significantly reduce error while also improving precision and accuracy. Information obtained before and a set of algorithms determines AI's decision at its pace. These faults can be reduced if properly coded. Next, it is available for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all the time. According to various research, humans are only productive for roughly 3 to 4 hours a day. Breaks and time off are also necessary for humans to maintain a healthy work-life balance. However, AI can function indefinitely without taking a break. They think too much faster than humans and can complete numerous jobs at once, which pinpoints accuracy. Next, we move to the Internet of Things or IoT. IoT is a new paradigm that allows electrical gadgets and sensors to communicate with one another over the internet to make our life easier. One of the examples of IoT is smart home system. A smart home is a convenient house setting in which appliance and device may be managed remotely using a mobile or other network device from anywhere with an internet connection. A smart home device are connected via the internet, allowing the user to handle features such as home security and lighting from afar. Another one is smart health sensing system. It comprises the use of small, intelligent gadgets and technology to aid human health. These gadgets can be used both indoors and outdoors to examine and monitor various health conditions, fitness levels, and the numbers of calories expended at the gym. Now, we move to the virtual reality (VR) and augmented reality (AR). VR is a computer-generated simulation of an alternate world or reality, while AR is a blend of the digital and the physical elements to create an artificial environment. The first benefits of these types of technology is it makes the e-learning process more engaging and exciting. Learning courses are becoming more innovative and enjoyable as augmented and virtual reality are used. Instead of just watching, online students can immerse themselves in situation and take action. According to some studies, students are more prefer to learn through watching rather than just reading or writing. Learning becomes more practical using augmented and visual reality. By adding actual application and immersion to the e-learning, AR and VR may make small topics more appealing. This allows online learners to appreciate concepts and ideas rather than dismiss them. Others from education, technological advancement has been applied in other industries such as healthcare and agriculture. For healthcare, it helps in carrying out research on human health, creation of new drugs and vaccine, electronic medical record, a systematic collection of patient health information in digital formats, and access to evidence-based tools to make conclusions about patient disease and treatment. For agriculture, it helps to increase production and food supply, develop new agriculture methods and tools. The invention of agriculture drone help optimize agriculture operation, increase crop productions, and monitor crop growth. And lastly, the farmers can gather some information to improve crop yields and their farm efficiency. Now, we look to the advantages and disadvantages of the technological advancement. The first advantage is save times. When computers are used to complete certain tasks at work, it allows for instant corrections. Thus, human errors are also reduced. Next is help to reduce the cyber crime risk. As we know, by implementing AI, cyber attacks can be identified in the earlier stage. As a result, the odds of a cyber attacks are lowered with the technological investment. And lastly, is improve productivity of our daily life. With aid of IoT, help to make our life easier and also to enhance the education. Thus, it also have their own disadvantages. First, the maintenance cost is very high. The cost of maintaining the electronic device are significantly expensive. Next, extreme dependability. The improving of technologies will indirectly cause us to be more dependable to use them in every task done. And the third one is malfunctions. The most serious drawback of technology is that machine control it. A little slip in performance can lead to an uncontrollable disaster. This all from me. I will pass to the next presenter, Aiman.
Thank you, Izzul, for your wonderful explanation on technological advancement. Now, I will explain to you guys on synergistic effects. Let's move on. A synergistic effect appears when the combination of two variables produce a better result than one obtained by employing both variables individually. It is a situation where a better outcome is achieved by merging elements. If the value combined for the entities are more than the value operated alone, it is classified as positive synergy. While if the value operated alone more than the value combined, it is classified as negative synergy. It is important to consider whether the decision will lead to the creation of synergy effects through successful integration of resources in making any capital investment decisions. As you can see here, these are the three types of synergy: revenue synergy, cost synergy, and financial synergy. Let's look into each type of synergy in details. For revenue synergy, it is a result of when an acquisition or combined company can generate more sales compared to a company that work independently or separately. Revenue synergy also can provide attractive economic for both parties when seller generate revenue synergy from the buyer. As a result, the seller can demand for a higher price in future. Next is cost synergy. Cost synergy refers to an opportunity of a combined corporate entity to reduce and eliminate expenses in a running business. It can be realized by eliminating positions that are reviewed as a duplicate within the merged entity. It is one of the most important benefits of cost synergy. In this case, the rate of revenue may not increase, but for sure, the cost would be reduced. And the last one, financial synergy. Financial synergy refers to a two mid-sized company that merge to create financial advantages. If a mid-level company borrow a loan from bank, the bank might charge a high interest. But if a merged company borrow a loan from bank, they will likely to get a benefit because they had a better capital structure and cash flow to support their borrowing. The merged company not only receive financial advantages, but they can also achieve additional tax benefit, they can increase debt capacity and reduce combined costs. Next, these are the positive impacts that synergistic effects can offer to companies. The first one, new market. It can open up new market for both of the companies. Next is added value. A variety of products can be produced and add value to the business because it can reduce the duplication of the product. And third one, cost-effective method. It allows business to become together so their need can be met by another in more affordable manner. And the last one, it will increase efficiency and effectiveness of the business. Next, for the negative impacts, it can create employee distressment as there is a chance a layoff could occur. And the second one, increase of debt. As the companies merge, it will make an increase in the balance sheet of the combined companies. And the third one, corporate culture. Consolidating office cultures of combined companies will make it more difficult for the staffs to adapt. And the last one, majority decision will take a lot of time as it requires most of the people from both sides to be on the same page. Adidas and Reebok is one of the examples of a successful merger. Adidas acquired Reebok and resulting the market share to increase to 21% from 8.9% post the acquisition situation. Last, we look into the factors that led to the successful merger. The first one is cultural blend. Adidas was all about sports, while Reebok redefined lifestyle. The culture of Adidas and Reebok effortlessly merged and it gave a new identity to the organization. And next, it is a perfect blend of individuality and union. Adidas Reebok is one such merger where both the companies managed to create a new portfolio of offerings while keeping their individuality intact. And the third one, economies of scale. Adidas benefited from this enhanced distribution in North America where Reebok already has a strong foothold. Microsoft and Nokia is one of the examples of unsuccessful merger. Microsoft decided to merge with Nokia at the last-ditch attempt back in 2013 when Microsoft gets stiffed by Apple and Android devices. However, it turns out to be proved as a sour one. What led to this failure of this big company merger? Desperation doesn't lead anywhere. Rather than growing to a shared vision and common passion, both Nokia and Microsoft suffered from their last-minute attempt without having analysed the whole key situation as they are in desperation to merge. And next is failure to understand market trends and dynamic. With attempt to merger in a last-minute decision, Microsoft may overlook certain little aspect that turns out to be significant effect after the merger happened. Not fully understand the market trends related to Nokia makes both companies to suffer loss as opposed to what both of the companies have been expected. That's all from me. I hope you guys understand what I've been explaining earlier. Now I will pass the presentation to Nursyahirah. Thank you.
Alright, thank you Aiman for the briefly explanation on synergistic. Now, moving on to the fourth main challenges in capital expenditure, which is environmental impact. What is environmental impact? So, environment it simply means the surroundings. Hence, the environment of a person, an object, or an element includes all the entities surrounding it. For example, air, water, people, and also the landscapes. So effect means other changes that happen due to action taken. Other words, for effects are the result, outcomes, and consequences. The last one is environmental impact means a change to the environment, whether adverse or beneficial, resulting from a facilities, activities, products, or service. Alright, there are 4 types of environmental impact. So the first one is direct impact. Direct impact arises when an activity interacts directly with environmental, social, or economic factor. The second one is indirect impact. It is not direct result for the project, often produced away from or as a result of a complex impact pathway. The third one is cumulative impact. Is a combination of project evaluated in the environment impact assessment together with other project causing the related impact. And the last one is induced impact. Is increase in workforce and nearby communities contributes to this effect. There are 2 issues that arise in environmental impact. So the first one is waste. Many businesses that manufactures products will create the manufacturing waste. So the company should choose the best way to dispose their manufacturing waste. The second one is air pollution. Agricultural industry usually involved in open burning. It is an easy way for them to prepare the area before planting, and the open burning also done to handle waste management after harvesting. Alright, now moving on to positive and negative impact. So for the positive impact consists of 3 C, which are first, reduce, keeping waste at minimum. The second one is reuse, putting item to the same or different use after it has served its original purpose. And the third one is recycle, process of turning used item into something new in order to reduce the waste. There are 2 negative impacts, which are the first one is air pollution. Manufacturing companies usually release the smoke into the open air like carbon dioxide, and the second one is water pollution. Factories pollute the water in the ecosystem by dumping waste into the rivers or lake. Alright, to sum up our discussion now, I will conclude that the capital expenditure is the process of making decisions regarding the investment in fixed assets that are not meant for sale. Capital expenditure includes expenses for fostering an increase in a company's future growth and expenses for maintaining present operating levels. Next, capital expenditure decisions depend on both qualitative and quantitative factors. Moreover, healthcare, education, agriculture, and transformation are the process of technological advancement for new invention nowadays. Synergistic effect can be negative and positive, and it can use to the opportunity of cost principle. Lastly, the environmental effects defined as any change to the environment, whether adverse or beneficial. That's all from us. Thank you.